Hey guys, good morning. It's Saturday. Jay had already left out for the day for Uber, but he called me because I think he had just had his car in the shop and he was out, and I guess his brakes are making like noise, which was something that it was in the shop for. So he took it back to the Honda place to get it looked at. So I'm on my way to go pick him up, and we're gonna make some good use of this time. We're gonna actually go and vote. Today is Saturday, October 26th. So I'm gonna pick you back up after I scoop him up, and then we'll talk to you all together. All right? All right.
Okay, so we are in the car now, and so it's going to also be my goal today to make videos with him, so that means laundry is going to have to wait again. It's last on the to-do list, last on priorities. But we're going to try to make some videos because I have an idea. Well, we have an idea. We've tried to do our travel breakdown as far as our budget goes, and I want to kind of do it more like a podcast style. So we're going to try to film the first episode today. He don't know that, but this is what happens when you call me and ask me to pick you up. This means I get to monopolize your time. All right, so we got baby.
What's up?
Hey, boo. So, we are about to go vote. I already told them all of that. We're going to do early voting because today we got time, Today we got time. So, but in the meantime, Babe left out this morning to do Uber and such. And I want to talk about that, baby.
Yes.
I want to talk about your decision to do Uber and delivery services full-time rather than take on a traditional 9-to-5 job, right?
Yeah.
But before we get to there, I want to say the inspiration behind this is because we recently discovered a channel that I'm sure a lot of you have seen. It's been blowing up. DoorDash. It's not DoorDash. Her channel is Dough. Like DOUG. Yeah, like
the dough, the money, the moolah.
So even though she was a full-time DoorDasher, her creative way of doing her channel was to name it DoorDash versus DoorDash, which was very creative. Yeah. I'm trying to go this way. Go. Okay, baby, I'm gonna go. Hold on. This is why I want to drive, because I like my driving better. It's nice and tame and relaxed. And his driving be like boom, boom, boom.
Because we're trying to get to places. Right now, we just driving.
Sometimes we don't be trying to get to places. You always drive like that.
Okay, whatever.
But yeah, so basically that's the inspiration behind what we want to discuss right now, because in her video, like a lot of her videos, she talks about DoorDashing and her decision not to take on a 9-to-5 and to do DoorDash full time, right? And we've made that same decision.
Yeah, I tried it out. I'm trying it out. It's been like almost 3 years.
He's trying it out. I was like,
yeah, and it's a tryout because I wasn't sure about it, but you know, it's been working. I've been able to fulfill my goals pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But let's back up and give a little bit of history, right? We've been dating forever. Like,
it's going to be 6 years.
It's going to be 6 years?
Yeah,
not
November.
7? I lost track. We've been dating for a long time.
Our channel's like 5 years.
Okay. And we started the channel a year after we started dating.
Yes, we was just collecting data, film.
See if we're going to last. See if we're going to make it or not. So in the meantime, we started off long distance. He in Miami, me here in Northern Virginia area.
And I would never approve that 10 years ago.
I know, right?
13 years before we met, I would never approve that.
The long distance thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but it was good for us, right?
They got a saying in Spanish, amor de lejos and amor de pendejo. Yeah.
What does that mean?
So, love long distance is for suckers. Yeah. So, it's like, amor, all my Spanish people, all my five people, Spanish people listening to this, they can relate.
All right, so let me say, but in that dating long distance, because we love travel, right? That's why this is the travel channel. Because we love travel, we were able to date around the world. Like, not only at first we started to try to see each other at least every 2 weeks, but that got to be a little much because you got to take off from work.
Then she started sneaking once a month, and when I realized it, I was like, I don't approve of that.
You're making this video go sideways.
No,
well, so we did at least once a month, but we did
it every 2 weeks. We did it for a little while.
Yeah, in the beginning.
And then what made us even better is that when COVID hit 2020, I approved her to live with me for like 5 months.
Babe, hold on, let me back up before we get to that.
Okay.
Every month we would meet around the world. Like we would have dates around the world, literally. Like sometimes we would meet in Vegas. Sometimes we would meet we did Nashville. We went on cruises together, and
went to Hawaii.
And then sometimes he felt like because we were going on a long distance trip, we would want to fly in to at least meet each other so we could fly together to wherever it was we were going.
Yeah.
That was fun to me. I liked it.
Yeah, it was fun. And then 4 years later,
he moved here.
She wanted to still keep on with the fun. I didn't want her to get brainwashed.
I did. So he made the decision for us to close the distance. But I want to say this, babe.
I didn't make the decision. I came up with a idea or a suggestion, and she agreed on it.
I know, but your idea was like next week or 2 weeks.
It was now or never.
It was exactly. It was a very short turnaround.
Yeah.
But let me say this, baby. Before you moved here, when you was in Miami, you had a job as a supervisor of a team in a hospital, right?
Yes.
And you was doing Uber at the same
part-time.
time.
Yeah, part-time. Yeah, I was doing
and you had a cleaning company. So he gave up all of that for me, right?
And I have a whole daughter.
And a whole daughter.
I haven't gave up on her though. I do visit her every other month.
Yeah.
So,
but I want to say this. From my observation, when you was working your job in Miami, even though it had great benefits and you had a salary and all of that, I felt like you was also stressed out a lot.
I feel like any manager or leader position, you're gonna be stressed out if you care about your job, and I do care about my job. Everywhere I work at, I put a 200% in it,
And I'd be like, what you need to he be caring, and that's what I felt like was stressing you out, because you, like a lot of you guys know, when you have these jobs,
you get rated.
You get your annual rating. What is it called when you get rated?
Oh, your evaluation.
Listen, I got a whole career, a whole job. I don't even
evaluation.
care. Yeah. I don't even care. My mindset is I don't care. He's a carer.
So part of all the stuff that I need to do personally, running a team, they have expectations also on running the teams and feedbacks. They actually employees do surveys on their leaders and stuff like that. And I felt like, I was in, supervisor lead, and we'll really get if you get like 3 years back to back, you can get demotivated or you can get fired. You know what I'm saying?
But my whole thing was, it's BS, because I was there. The politics is sometimes you will have people who work under you who just don't like you. But not because of you being you, just because you're the supervisor, because you're the leader.
It's not like they don't like me. It's like
they just don't like authority. Like no matter who it was, they wasn't gonna like.
It'll be like you be cool with them for the whole year, and when the year is almost over, they request a special request, like a vacation time that you can't really approve because you're down by staff, and they will go ahead and come back to you and tell Tanisha that she needs to refill her battery.
Exactly. Here you go. But I thought it was BS. Like when I was seeing it, and you would be so stressed out because these daggone ratings and whatnot, and I'm like, you are a wonderful manager and supervisor, but you gotta live by the politics of this BS system that isn't always fair. Like you said, the fact that these people had a power in their hands that if you didn't give them what they wanted because of one reason or another, at the very last minute, they will turn on you.
All that hard work you did for the year,
building relationships, exactly.
Yeah. And it's not the first company that have a system like that, because I worked in another children's hospital and it was the same thing. And on paper, it looks like I'm not really doing my job, but then when I leave, you get all the love. You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy. Like, you know, it's like, wow.
So when he left, like, so many people came to his luncheon. They gave him like a luncheon outside of work. And so many people came and they was all like, they were threatening me, y'all. Like, y'all don't treat him right. You can always come back. Like, all of that. But I'm like, but the stress, to me, the stress was not worth it. The stress.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So you came here and you had a job lined up here.
No, I didn't have a job. Well, yeah, I didn't have a job lined up here. I could have just transferred my Uber, and then I was going to go ahead and search for a job.
But you got a job.
Yeah, but it wasn't like, I don't know how much.
Jay says I suck. Look, memory card died. You put everything back in the case?
Of course not. Drive. Yeah, so like she said, it was lined up. It wasn't lined up. It just took me a week to get interview and to land the interview.
And it was another supervisor position.
Yeah, so, but no, it was a manager position.
Okay.
Yeah, but paying.
To me, manager's.
Yeah, so manager position was paying me what I was getting paid as a supervisor in Miami.
And so, which is higher, supervisor or a manager?
Manager. Then you have the director. Or you have.
Okay, so a manager is considered higher. Yeah. Okay.
So it was higher. The position name was higher, but I was getting paid the same. I was getting paid as a supervisor. That didn't last. I think I was doing my training. I was doing my training for a week because
and it was during COVID.
And, yeah, it was in 2022, so it was like dying out already. You know, all these.
All right, hold on.
Cricket.
Okay, never mind. It straightened out. It must have been the way the car was angled. Okay. It was during COVID.
Yeah, so that didn't last. You know, it was a lot to do and a lot of time, and pretty much on 24/7, pretty much.
I hated it because I felt like when you got the job, remember negotiations, and remember they had a top salary, and then they had a whatever, and the negotiations and $3,000 from the top salary. My mind, I was like, why not just give him the top salary? So I felt like that was BS.
Yeah, and I have like 20 years, maybe not on the same industry, but the same process for like 20 years.
It's like, why would you withhold $3,000? Then, because it was COVID times, they were really understaffed.
Yeah, there was like half of the staff. Because they had got rid of all the employees except the leaders and the supervisors and the directors. They stood operating the building.
And so this was a time where they started to try to add people back on. So for me, the problem became he was salary. So this meant that his paycheck was going to be the same no matter how many hours he worked. And guess what they wanted him to do? Tell him.
Open and close, right?
Yeah, but how many hours a day?
More than like 12 hours plus.
Exactly.
Easy.
Exactly, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure what your vacation time was. Was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks or so.
Who can live on 2 weeks?
Yes. So then it was like, well, I'm used to having jobs like that, but the thing is that, over years it increased or whatever.
But my problem was, remember, if we were already coming from a situation where we were able to vacation whenever we want, pretty much, within reason, which was
I wasted all my PTO. I was running out of PTO.
It was. But we would also do long weekends and stuff like that. We would make it work.
But with the hospital, I felt like you could accumulate more hours towards the year, so you have more days off. And I had a great team, like a great leader team that will pretty much cover who needs to be covered because they believe in work-life balance. Work-life balance. So that was good. But going through a new company, it's not always like that.
Take 5. And I was saying that normally when I do a job and I go on
interviews, I negotiate for more PTO because I don't care how long I've been with your company. I've been in this industry for so long. I'm coming from a place where I had this much vacation time. You need to stop me as if I'm a senior person, period. I don't care how long I've been with you. So that's another thing. And then remember, babe, I think it's the next one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Remember, babe, I said to you, you would make more money if you was getting paid by the hour. Like the fact that you had these hourly employees who would make more money because they were getting paid by the hour, and if they worked overtime, they were getting paid for that. But because you was in management position, they only paid you salary. And I feel like they was just taking advantage.
Yeah, so, and if I would have kept that, I would have still have to do Uber also.
Yeah, to make ends meet.
Yeah.
And
that's like after whatever shift I'm doing, work a couple of hours.
I was going to say, because the way they had you, it wasn't even giving you time to even do Uber afterwards, because it was like you had to be there at like 6 in the morning, and then sometimes you was getting off at 6 in the evening. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, so I was like, so now they're cutting into your side hustle money.
Yeah. And when Tanisha had it, one day I came home, I didn't even say a peep to her. I went to the restroom, took a shower, and went to bed.
And I would write on our wall, quit.
I said, I'll talk to you in the morning.
And remember, because Jay is a person who cares about people, and he cares about all of this stuff, he would have never quit and left them high and dry. I'm like, they don't care about you. You need to give them that same energy. Quit.
That's the first job I ever quit in my life.
Because I rather have a better quality of life than burning yourself out. Trying to please a corporation that does not care about you.
Follow the red card.
Okay.
Yeah, so
the idea that you would have to ask somebody for permission to take off is just wild to me. Like, I mean, I get it. You can't have an industry where nobody's at work, right? But the fact that you have to beg somebody to be off so you can either tend to yourself, your needs, or even tend to your own mental health is wild to me. The fact that they tell you for 365 days, we're going to gift you 14 days of being off.
That's a lot of mediocre jobs out there.
But doesn't that sound crazy?
You know, that's how the industry is.
365 days, you can have 14 of them to yourself?
Yeah.
Watch. Y'all, we had to stop at Best Buy. Oh my God, we was running out of all the memory cards.
Yeah, just
look at how good that light looks.
Stay right here then.
I know, right? You're annoying. All right, we're back. We had to stop by.
We gotta do all the stops.
Yeah. All right. So they was only giving you 2 weeks of vacation. That really put a crimp in our vacation lifestyle. And I just didn't feel like it was worth the headaches because, again, being a supervisor, we already know what goes with that, and a manager, what goes with that from your last position with all of the people you have to deal with. Now, imagine if they're not even treating management well, you know they're not treating employees well, and that becomes your headache with turnover and disgruntled people and work conditions. So I wanted him to quit. He quit, and I loved it. And you've been doing Uber full-time ever since. Every time you talk about getting another 9-to-5 job, I'm like, because I already know, again, that permission thing to be off. How's Uber been going for you?
It's been paying my bills.
It's been paying our bills.
It's been paying our bills, and but you know, it has its pros and cons. And one of the cons is just using my car a lot, you know, just
like right
wear
now,
and tear.
The fact that the car is in the shop again right now.
Yes.
And you was on an Uber ride, and you said the passenger was asking.
Yeah, they was like, "Is it safe? Is it gonna make it there?" It's because the car drives fine now. After taking it out 2 days ago, I took it out the shop, and it was like
about a $2,400 repair that you had done.
Yeah, like a $2,400 repair. Plus, I did like a full flush or transmission flush, but that's like maintenance. So that was another $200 and something. So it was like pretty much a $3,000 expense that I did. So that's the only thing. Well, that's one of the things, and it's not the safest job either. You know what I mean? But yeah, if I leave at 7 in the morning, typically, I won't be home 8 or 9 o'clock p.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if I leave at 4 in the morning, I'll be by the house around 5 or 6.
But on average, I would say you come home around 10 p.m. every night.
Yeah.
And that might not even be because it's the last ride, but that's just how long it takes you to get back home from wherever your last drop off was.
Yeah, so I have to like map it out good. If not, yeah, it'll throw me off.
And Jay works so freaking hard. He is such a hard worker. He really cares about you be caring. Like, he makes sure his car is washed. He cleans the car every day. He makes sure it has, like, you have water in the car for customers, little candies in the car for customers. Like, he really pays attention to detail and customer service. And you're consistent. Like, you will go out in them streets and you get your money, because he usually has a money goal that he wants to reach every day. And I just really wish that there was an easier way. Like, I don't want him going back to the 9 to 5. I understand he has to make money because I keep putting us on these vacations, especially.
Yeah, and
I just wish there was an easier way.
And one of the big things that drives me forward of doing these type of work is because I'm a long distance father. My daughter lives in Miami, so I want to still be a part of her life. Just imagine, I can't visit her only
2 weeks out the year.
Pretty much what? Two times out the year. When summertime comes, she'll come around. That's pretty much typically how a long distance father is now these days. If you have a job like that, a career like that. Now, if you have your own business, maybe you can be a little bit more flexible about it. But me and Tanisha got some ideas, and hopefully it'll fall through.
Yeah, because one of the things I feel like is not so much that you have to completely walk away from whatever your situation is, but you can start looking at what are some ways I can offset. Because when you look at it, you think of your lifestyle as, this is how much money I need to run my life. So one of the first steps is try to make that as little as possible.
Yes.
Which one of the things I'm doing to make it as even less as possible is paying off this house. When this house is paid off, that's going to be less bills that have to be paid. So that's one. Try to make your expenses as little as possible. Then you think about how much money do you have to bring in to actually meet those expenses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I say one of the ways we can start looking at offsetting it little by little is saying, okay, if this is how much I need, and right now if Uber is what he does, Uber and delivery services is what he does to make the money, what are some other things we can do to offset it? Like YouTube, for instance. YouTube brings in X amount, so boom, he doesn't have to make X amount in that area. We rent out rooms in the house. If renting out rooms in the house pays for all the household expenses, that's even less that he has to make in Uber. And so that's the way I look at it.
Or maybe more to go towards something else, because,
Yeah, but we be vacationing.
Yeah, so it'll go like towards the vacation or something.
And then I want to say another thing that DoorDash, like watching her channel, taught us, right? Because you do Uber, but you haven't necessarily structured it as a business with its own like payroll.
No, yeah, I haven't done none of that stuff.
And watching her videos, we learned that technique from her, because she talked about that in one of her videos on how she actually set it up so that she actually runs payroll. And that doesn't just help you with legitimizing your business, because again, you can write off more things in taxes, more tax deductions, but it also helps in if you need it to make your gig work more legitimate when it came to getting loans and stuff. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they want to see that paperwork to support whatever they need in order to give you that loan if you don't have a typical 9 to 5 job. So that was very inspiring there.
Yeah, and Uber just, I feel like, I can manage my time a little better.
Yeah.
But you got to stay motivated, though. It's all about you. You got to stay motivated. You got to make your money, because it's easy. It's easy just to sit back and not go out, or not go out for that long and nothing like that. You got to.
Sometimes I try to convince them to, like, baby, just stay home with me.
Yeah, and one of the keys is I take pretty much all my calls. And now then you have to learn how to not be too stay out, Like, you don't want to, like, take an hour and a half to come back home after your last ride could be at 7 o'clock at night, and then now you coming back at 8:30. You know, so. But I know how to structure myself now. There's key things that you can use on the app and stuff like that. But I think Uber and all these ride shares and delivery service, you can make decent money on it. Especially if it's like a gig work. That extra money can come for traveling, buying stuff, and just keeping up with all the other stuff, even paying for your car. So.
And if you guys are interested, you can put it down in the comments if you want more of his tips and tricks as far as gig work is concerned, because we can say like you make
over 100,000 a year
doing it. Yeah,
100,000 a year, and I go on all my trips.
All the vacations.
Even though this year I didn't do that many trips, I still went more than an average person.
He was boycotting me. He was boycotting me.
And it's already what? October.
Yeah.
I'm almost there.
Whatever. But next year he jumping on all the trips.
No, not all of them. Not that much.
Okay, but you jump. All right, whatever. He's been boycotting.
It's not that much. Not like how I usually be, but it's not that much.
Yeah. So let us know if you want to hear more about that. And and like I said, giving a shout out to DoorDash, because that's the inspiration behind this video. And I also want to say, like, if you are a small channel, definitely check out her channel. I'm going to leave the link below to her channel. If you haven't seen it, pop up in your algorithm. That's how I found it. It's been popping up. And so we just want to share our story behind gig work, the 9-to-5 hustle and all of that. I have a 9-to-5 hustle, which I'm fine with because, again, I make really good money and I have great benefits and I have lots of flexibility, right?
Yeah, I like her schedule as a job. It's really good.
Yeah, but it is one of my dreams, though. One day I would love to live out the country one day.
Yeah, that could be happening next year, June.
My job's coming to an end.
That's another story.
That's another story. But yeah. So, but thank y'all so much for being here. We're gonna go vote now. And we're going to see y'all in the next video. Now that we got some memory cards.
Them batteries. We don't know.